Good morning, everybody. All right. James Richmond, do you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I'm so sorry. Can we call this meeting to order at 9:10 a.m.? Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I am so sorry. Maybe please be standing for the.
Madam President, may I ask everyone in the room if we just have a moment of silence for those lives that perished in the South, in Texas, New Mexico, in the flooding? Shall we pray? Father God, we thank you, Lord, one more time for the Fourth and Third District of Will County. Bless all the commissioners, all of our facilities, staff, and volunteers that work in our Fourth and Third, and always remember those that perished in the South. In our Lord's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. All right, with that, can I get a roll call, please? I am so sorry. The introduction of the news media, we have Nick Ryer from Farmers Weekly Review. Roll call, please.
Thank you. Dean Schlotman,
She will not be here.
Van Dyne, Ogalla, Pretzel, Butler, Newquist, Balich, Richmond, Oxley, Williams, Brooks, Winfrey, Bullock, Logan, Freeman is present, Revis, Mitchell, Berkowitz, Hickey, Costa, Trainier, and President Ortiz.
Present.
I have 17.
All right.
17 are present.
Thank you so much. We have a quorum with 17 present. Moving on, we have the presentation of certificate of mailing and certificate of publication, all taken care of. Thank you very much. And next, we have the approval of the meeting minutes for June 12th, 2025. Can I please get a motion? Motion by Hickey, second by Balish. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Dean Schlotman is not here. Van Dyne. Ogalla. Pretzel. Butler. Butler for the minutes. Thank you. Newquist. Balich. Richmond. Oxley. Williams. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock is not here. Logan. Freeman is a yes. Revis. Mitchell is not here. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa is not here. Trainier is not here. And President Ortiz.
Yes.
That is 17 in the affirmative.
With 17 in the affirmative, the minutes carry. Thank you very much. Next, moving on to our treasurer's report from Treasurer Berkowitz.
Thank you, President Ortiz. Good morning, everyone. Before I place the treasurer's report on file, I have a few comments. The June 30th, 2025 operating statements indicate the district's corporate fund has collected over $8 million in total revenues, which includes approximately $6.9 million in property taxes, nearly $260,000 in replacement taxes, and over $230,000 in licenses, permits, and user fees. The remaining balance comes from miscellaneous income items. The district has also incurred approximately $7.1 million of expenses in the corporate fund as of June 30th. Approximately $5.5 million of the expenses are personnel related and over $800,000 are for contracted services. Year-to-date, the district has a positive operating margin of approximately $960,000, including all budgeted transfers. Unless there are any questions, I will move to place the treasurer's report on file.
All right, so I have a motion by Berkowitz. Can I get a second? And then we have discussion. Second by Butler, discussion by Commissioner Brooks.
I just want to know to understand what 5.5 million in personal funding, what does that mean? Was that all go to Julie or what? What's
That's a
that?
great
Tell me,
question.
what does that mean?
Rachel Mayer, Finance Director. The 5.5 million are the salary and benefits for the personnel that work for the Forest Reserve.
Okay, personnel, okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for that question and for that answer. All right, so we have a first and second. Previous roll Newquist, second Hickey. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Treasurer Berkowitz. Moving on to our presentation of awards. None. Thank you very much. Petitions from the public. Once, petition from the public. Anybody here wishing to speak? Seeing none, moving on. Finance Chair Newquist.
Good morning, everybody. First up, we have the schedule of bills for $1,149,023.79, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, second by Berkowitz. Any discussion? All right, I have a previous by Balich and a second by Winfrey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And then I have one resolution to bring forward, the approval of resolution number 25-11, authorizing the intergovernmental agreement number 25-03 with the Capital Development Board, Illinois State Police, and Forest Preserve District of Will County regarding the Crime Lab Wetland Mitigation Project and land transfer at Prairie Bluff Preserve. The committee recommended approval 8-0, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, second by Winfrey. Discussion by Revis.
Thank you, Madam President. Miss Executive Director, is this to like help look for like like items discarded in a forest preserve or a wetland or something like that? Or what is this exactly?
No, the Illinois State Police is building the new crime lab located at Division and 53. And on that portion of the property, we currently manage a portion of it. They are only going to utilize a section that we manage, and then they're going to transfer 118 acres to us. And during their construction, they have wetland disruption, so they have to do wetland mitigation. And they're going to do wetland mitigation on the 118 acres that they're transferring to us. And they're paying for that as well.
And then I noticed in our minutes, it mentioned something about a firing range.
Mhm.
Is that still the case? Is that the one that was recently talked about in the news? Do you know?
I don't know if it's been talked about on the news, but the state police has a current firing range at that location, and they're just upgrading it with the new crime lab. It won't be on our property at all, and we won't be managing that property.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the discussion. Can I get a previous roll? Previous by Logan, second by Revis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Reports, everyone should have it at their desk. We have the 2024 Forest Preserve audit, and we don't need a motion for that, correct? Okay, thank you. Then that's it. Our next meeting date will be Thursday, August 7th, immediately following the Operations Committee meeting, but no earlier than 9:15, right here at the Will County Office Building. Thank you.
Thank you.
We do have Anthony Cervini from Sikich online to do a short presentation.
Perfect.
Good morning. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. As noted, I just have a brief presentation for you highlighting the results of our audit of the Forest Preserve District as of and for your fiscal year ended December 31st, 2024. If we move to the next slide, you'll see here a listing of the reports that were issued as part of the 2024 audit. The largest and key documents here, including the annual comprehensive financial report, or the ACFR. Additionally, our board report, the Forest Preserve District's required filings with the state comptroller, the Grant Accountability and Transparency Act Consolidated Year-End Financial Report, the single audit report, which is required as the district expended greater than $750,000 of federal funds during fiscal year 2024, and finally, your other post-employment benefit financial statements, as well as our management letter associated with that separate report. From our testing standpoint this year, the district had several what are called major funds. Those are determined based on quantitative criteria set forth by the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, or GASB. Those included your general fund or your corporate fund, as well as your debt service fund, your construction and development fund, your 2019 bond fund, and your 2024 limited tax development fund. Pleased to report to the president and commissioners this morning that we've issued unmodified opinions. That is the highest level of assurance as auditors that we can provide. It means the financial statements were presented fairly in our opinion based on generally accepted accounting principles. So do want to commend the board and the district for receipt of those unmodified opinions, both on the district's financial statements and the OPEB financial statements, as well as separately unmodified opinions on compliance and internal control over financial reporting based on the single audit report and those required procedures. The following slide then presents some independent auditors report for you here. Again, this is coming from the annual comprehensive financial report. As noted here, we have issued the unmodified opinion. Also highlighted in the independent auditors report, if you look at the more detail here, you will find that this does outline management responsibilities. Management is ultimately responsible for the fair presentation of the district's financial statements in accordance with those generally accepted accounting principles. The independent auditors report also outlines our responsibilities as auditors to express an opinion on those financial statements based on our audit conducted in accordance with both generally accepted auditing standards as well as generally accepted government auditing standards. The next slide will highlight for you the management's discussion and analysis. This is prepared by the district's finance director. This provides the executive summary component to your annual comprehensive financial report. If you look at nothing else within the document, I'd strongly encourage you to look at the management's discussion and analysis, or MD&A as it's commonly known. MD&A includes key excerpts from both the 2024 financial statements, but also includes comparative information from 2023. Most valuable piece of this, in my opinion, again, is management's explanations for why those figures have changed from one year to the next. The next slide highlights for you here the governmental funds balance sheet for the district here. This is looking at your funds here. So the major funds presented in individual columns, all the non-major funds aggregated in the second to last column, and then a total column on the far right. If you look at that first column, the general corporate fund, you'll see that you had unassigned fund balances as of December 31st, 2024 of $12.3 million. $12.3 million, again, a healthy reserve in the corporate fund for you there. Important to note as well as the December 31st year end, being mindful of what those reserve levels are and thinking of those things from a timing standpoint as you are waiting on property tax distributions for significant component of the first part of your fiscal year. So that's why you need to maintain and have those reserves reported in your corporate fund there. The following page highlights some of the activity for the course of the year. This is your income statement. So looking at your general fund from the income statement standpoint here, did have a drawdown of about $500,000 in the corporate fund. Looking at the 2019 bond fund column, you will see a drawdown of about $5.8 million for capital expenditures there. And then your net change in fund balance with the issuance of the 2024 limited tax bonds there, you did have an increase in that fund balance of $50.3 million, again, related to the timing of that issue. Obviously, those funds will be spent down over time from a capital standpoint there. But overall, I do want you just to call to your attention from a spending standpoint as the drawdown in the 2019 bond fund, coupled with the issuance of the limited tax development bond there, more or less the district operated at a break-even level once you factor out those large fluctuations from the capital projects and the capital spending standpoint. Next page will have for you the separate report information related to the district's other post-employment benefit plan. The district is in a better position than most when it comes to their other post-employment benefit plan because you have made the step many years ago to set up a separate, what we call an OPEB trust, and actually funded your OPEB plan many Many governments do not have a separate trust set aside for this and have not funded this. This presents 9 fiscal years of data here. 2024 column on the far right will show you that your net total OPEB liability as of the end of the year, middle of the page, was 3.5 million. Planned fiduciary net position, second line from the bottom, shows that you had 3,850,000 set aside for that there. So you actually reported a net OPEB asset as of December 31st, 2024, in the amount of $341,000. So again, telling you that your OPEB as of December 31st, 2024 was fully funded. Great position to be from an OPEB standpoint there, again, setting you aside and setting you above many of your peer organizations in terms of the funding of that OPEB plan. Next page, just highlighting again some key summarized information from our auditor's communication. Pleased to report we had no difficulties in performing the audit, nor did we have any disagreement with management during the course of the audit. We did note 5 audit adjustments during the course of the year. Those primarily related to some year-end debt entries, capital assets, and 1 entry related to accounts payable. 1 minor past adjustment that was reported during the course of the year. And then finally, pleased to report that we identified no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies during the course of our audit. At this point, I'd be happy to answer any questions. If not, I'd like to, again, thank you for the time this morning, allowing me to provide a brief presentation for you, as well as thanking Rachel and the rest of the district staff for their efforts in preparing for the audit and providing the information needed. Very easy to work with, very responsive to the questions from an audit standpoint. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Savini. Do we have any questions? I see Commissioner Brooks with your light on.
Anthony, I was looking for, maybe I overlooked it, our bond rating. Where are we with our rating?
1 second here. I do have that, unless finance director has that handy. I believe your bond rating as part of the 2024 issuance. If you give me 1 second here, I do have that.
It's not in either one of that we have now. I couldn't find it anywhere.
It would not be, it
No.
is not something that is presented within the audit report specifically. I believe it is a AA1 rating, but I can verify that for you here in short order.
I mean, we can borrow some money, huh? Well, that sounds good, Anthony. And has there any, as you look, Anthony, has there been any change? Have we dropped since our last audit and or improved?
You find yourself in a, I would say, a similar position in terms of the overall financial position from a fund balance standpoint there. Really, the amounts from one year to the next, we're pretty, positioned on the impact of the bond funds there. So the spend down in the 2019 fund offset by the issuance of the 2024 bond series there. I think overall the district remains strong from a financial position standpoint there. No concerns in terms of the reserve levels there from our standpoint. Was able to look at that rating for you. Moody's did rate as part of the 2024 bond issue a AA1 rating or stable rating there for the district. So a solid rating in terms of that, which obviously the impact of that from an outside rating agency gives you some additional, comfort and kind of oversight as to that, outside parties and those in the investment market, they're looking to invest in the district's bonds are also looking at you favorably based on the financial position of the district.
Good. Thank you, Anthony.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you for your questions, Commissioner Brooks. Commissioner Revis, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Madam President. Hi, Mr. Servini, Mark Revis here. I know we talked a couple times before your presentation here today. Appreciate all the work you did on this, but I did have a question. So just to make sure I'm interpreting all the documents in front of me right, in our cash reserves, we have $41.4 million. Is that right?
Bear with me here. I will, in terms of the cash figure.
Yeah, sorry. I know you can't predict what questions we're going to ask and stuff, so we'll give you that grace. I know, yeah.
I appreciate that. So as of December 31st, 2024, yes, the district reported $41.4 million in cash and cash equivalents. Of those funds there, those are split between your various funds there. So, so general corporate fund reported a portion of those and then split across other funds as well. So you had approximately 15 plus million, or I should say 15, almost 21 million of those funds are set aside in your capital project, construction and development, bond funds for that. And then debt service had a portion of that as well.
Okay, and so is that that's a healthy number? Is that too high or we're just right on that? I'm just trying to get some comparative analysis on this.
Sure. So cash numbers are not necessarily where I would recommend looking at from a reserve standpoint there, because cash is going to fluctuate, and particularly looking when you look at the 41 million there, that is looking at the what we call the entity-wide presentation there. So you look at funds that are set aside or issued for particular purpose there. For the bond funds, for example, there are construction and development funds there present certain amounts in cash there. Where I would advise you to kind of look from a reserve standpoint there is more in the fund balance category there, which is the governmental version of equity in terms of a financial statement presentation there, and looking at your unassigned fund balance there. So your unassigned fund balance in your corporate fund was 12.3 million as of December 31st, 2024. That 12.3 million really is what dollars are there that are unassigned and available for kind of ongoing operational needs there. Everything else is for lack of a better descriptor, tied up in other restrictions based on what the amounts came in for. So if you look at debt service, for example, capital issuances there, or other amounts that have been put aside to those specific purposes there. We also look at comparing that unassigned amount to what your general fund expenditures are on an annual basis there. So again, $12.3 million versus your average expenditure or your annual expenditures, excuse me, for fiscal year 24 were 14 million there. So, I would say it's a healthy reserve. It is not significantly above where we see things, particularly for December 31st year ends there, based on, again, that property tax cycle timing and those natures as well.
Okay, great. So 12.3 million cash reserve or unassigned reserve. Okay, thank you for setting me straight on that. I appreciate that. I think that's good information for all the board members to kind of digest here. And then my next question was, just want to confirm the number I have here is the total cost of the 2020, I thought it was 2025 to 2030 bond, CIP bond. I keep hearing it referred to the 2024 bond issuance. I guess it's the same thing. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. The total cost of that, the total debt service over 20 years, that's going to be $80,979,213.89. Is that the same number you have?
That aligns with the numbers that we see in the bond closing documents. And yes, it is the series 2024 bonds repayment. Repayment on those bonds did start in 2025. So that may be just the timing or kind of the naming being used for that year. But yes, 8979,213.89 is what we see from a total debt service principal plus interest on that issuance.
Okay, thank you. And that question was really just for the public record, because I know when this originally came up, there was a lot of discussion in committee and different numbers were being thrown around, and it seemed almost as if that number kind of was dismissed. But in the end, it's the reality. That is what the number, that is what the cost of the bond is. And, I just want that to be on record for the taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Revis. Do we have any other questions? All right, seeing none. With that, I want to thank you, Mr. Savini, for that excellent presentation, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on to, yes.
Can we in the future get those attached to the agendas, their presentations?
Sure that we can. Is it possible?
Because my eyes are getting bad. I can't read the
What?
screens.
You want the printout of the PowerPoint?
Yeah, it's just so when we click like where it says Forest Preserve audit, we can click that and we can actually follow through as he's going through the slides, we can follow through the slides on
We
there.
can do a printout and give you the PowerPoint presentation as a printout.
Whatever's
beforehand.
easier. It's
Okay.
just my eyes I'm getting old. I can't
Yeah,
read up there.
yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, moving on to Operations Committee. Chair Jean Schlottman is not here, so we will be, Vice Chair Hickey will be leading this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, President Ortiz. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Our first order of business is awarding of contract in the amount of $112,500 to Strand Associates Incorporated of Joliet for the engineering and permitting of the DuPage River Trail Extension, 119th Street to 127th Street, and committee recommended this 7-0.
All right, so I have a motion by Hickey, second by Winfrey.
Discussion, Revis.
We have discussion. We will have to do a roll call because we did lose some members, but go ahead. Yes, Hickey and Winfrey. Go ahead, Commissioner Revis.
Thank you. So, out of curiosity, does this trail, or do we expect this trail to have bench pads or anything like that, be installed retroactively or as we, go through this project?
So this trail creation is a little bit different because it's a roadway. So we're actually putting a road on a trail diet where we're making it smaller. So it's just a 1 mile section. So I think in the
By Book Road, right?
yes.
Yep.
So in the engineering, this is where we'll figure out if we're going to add the bench pads.
Okay. So I guess I just would like to express that rather than coming in retroactively and installing bench pads and installing benches for $9,700 a bench like we just saw at Kankakee Sands, I would like us to see maybe to, be proactive in this phase of the project and determine if we are going to want benches out there, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, I'm going to be in support of this. It's in my district or near my district. I'm pretty sure it's my district, but thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Berkowitz.
Thank you. And I just want to make a comment. This is in my district, in my, in the township. And that particular stretch of trail and then leading north to 111th, beautiful prairie that we've been working on, habitat restoration there, concentrating on it. There's a lot of sunlight because prairie plants are lower, not so much tree. So that particular trail, there's a lot of sunlight. And so I appreciate Mark bringing it up. I think, given that we do get a lot of walkers as well as people on bicycles, we probably could use a bench or two because, if somebody gets to that stretch and they need to sit for a minute, but I think it would be a nice, a good thing to consider, maybe having one available just in case, because you're out there in the sun in that particular stretch of the trail. So thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair, did you have a comment that you wanted to make? All right, then with that, can I get a roll call, please?
This is a roll call for the award of contract to Strand Associates. Dean Schlottman is absent. Van Dyne.
Yes.
Ogalla. Pretzel. Butler. Newquist.
Yes.
Balich is absent. Richmond. Oxley. Williams. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock is gone. Logan. Freeman is a yes. Revis. Mitchell is gone. Berkowitz. Hickey.
Yes.
Costa is gone. Trainier is gone. Destiny. Ortiz.
Yes.
President Ortiz. Gotcha. That is 16 in favor.
All right, with 16 in the affirmative, the motion carries. Back to you, Vice Chair.
Okay, our second item is award of contract in the amount of $1,133,318.52 to Everlast Blacktop of Elgin, Illinois for Old Plank Road Trail Pavement Rehabilitation and ADA improvements. And the committee recommended this 7-0, and I so move.
All right,
Discussion.
got motion by Hickey, second by Pretzel, discussion by Logan.
So my question was gonna be, is this Everlast Blacktop in Will County? And then I saw the attachments. So I thank you for the attachments with the bid history and the actually itemization of it. I love seeing this, so I can see exactly down to the penny where it's going. Two questions I have under Everlast Blacktop, what is SBE and what is MBE? Because they're both check marked, but one of them has it and one of them doesn't. What is that?
Yeah, the one is a small business incentive and the other is a minority business incentive.
Okay, so I was gonna actually gonna complain about not putting something in Will County, keeping the money in Will County, but since those two are checked and we're saving $210,000, I'm really not gonna complain. So I just want to thank you for putting those in there. I love seeing the attachments because when it comes to where our dollars go, it actually itemizes it exactly. So thank you for doing that. That's it.
Thank you for your comments. All right, so I believe we had a first and a second. Can I get a previous? Previous by Berkowitz, second by Brooks. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and our third item of business is award of the contract in the amount of $182,284.16 to Construction Solutions of Illinois Incorporated of Oak Lawn, Illinois, for the annual asphalt crack seal, seal coat, and restriping. Committee recommended this 7-0, and I so move.
Motion by Hickey. Second Ogalla. Any discussion? Previous roll by Oxley, seconded by Logan. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Our last item of business here is approval of resolution number 25-10, declaring various vehicles, equipment, and other items surplus and authorizing disposal through a variety of means. The committee recommended this 7-0, and I so move.
Motion by Hickey, second by Berkowitz. Any discussion? Seeing none, previous roll Winfrey,
Second, Newquist.
second by Newquist. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Our next meeting date is Thursday, August 7th, 2025 at 9 a.m. at the Will County Office Building here in Joliet.
Thank you. All right, moving on to Ad Hoc Committee Chair Brooks.
Madam President, we did not have a meeting in July and next meeting to be determined.
Thank
That's my
you.
report.
Thank you so much. All right, moving on to executive session. No need for executive session today. Actions following the executive session, none. Comments by the public. Is anybody here wishing to make a comment? Going once, twice. Comments by the public?
Can I? Are we past my time?
No, you're commissioner.
Okay.
Comments by the executive director.
Sorry.
I just wanted to highlight two events that are coming up. Tomorrow night is Fun and Food Trucks, and it's going to be at Foresight Woods in Wilmington. It's from 5 to 8. And then Saturday night is Surf and Turf. That's going to be at Moni Reservoir, and that's from 5:30 to 8:30. And that's one of our unique experiences where you can go out and kayak onto Moni Reservoir, and there's going to be live music, and you're going to be entertained while you're on the water.
Nice. Hey, thank you very much. All right, next, moving on, comments by commissioners. Commissioner Revis?
Yes, so I know we've been talking about some different ideas, for the forest preserve and things like that. And I came across one on Monday with esteemed Commissioner Herbert Brooks. We attended the Will County Children's Advocacy Center's accreditation, prep meeting. And, we were just kind of talking about police departments in Will County and how a lot of those police departments use the CAC for their victim-sensitive interviews. And, they're very important. There's about 800 kids abused in Will County every year. And upon talking to Jackie, the senior forensic interviewer, she disclosed to me that some of the cases originate from the Will County Forest Preserve. There was some, confusion on how many it actually is. We were sitting there with the sheriff's office, and I believe that they're looking into it. I don't know if they've reached out to you, Tracy, and to see how many cases actually come from the Forest Preserve. We know a lot of them get transferred over to the sheriff's office because we don't have the police force to do it. But regardless, the conversation was really focused on getting these local police departments to, financially support the mission of the CAC. So I would like to propose to the board with that $12.3 million we have in unassigned funds to take a very small portion. The CAC isn't looking for a lot. Joliet Police Department, from the documents we've been provided, only pays about 10 grand a year to the CAC. So we're not asking for a lot, but I would like to see, maybe the Forest Preserve, show their support against sexually abused children and a lot of the impropriety that happens with our children in Will County by, financially supporting their mission with some sort of, payment to the CAC. So I don't know what that quantity is. I'd like to talk about it as a board, but I think it would be appropriate since we have a police department here at the Forest Preserve. Thank you.
Heard. Commissioner Van Dyne.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to thank the Forest Preserve for having a food truck Friday at the Foresight Woods. This is a very small property, a very short trail. And the times that I go out, it seems like it's very unutilized, but it's kept pristine at all times. It's a great location. And I hope the Food Truck Friday is successful. And I've been tasked to try to get some friends over to enjoy that Forest Preserve. And there possibly may be a pool party afterwards at a commissioner's house down the street. So, all right, thank you to the Forest Preserve.
Thank you so much. Treasurer Berkowitz.
Thank you, President Ortiz. So I wanted to just give a shout out to our Forest Preserve staff behind the scenes that do every day help provide all of the wonderful resources we have for Will County residents and the adjoining counties, because we draw people from all over the state. I want to recognize them, also the Forest Preserve Police, who's always there, not only making sure everyone's safe, but also building community relationships and making the Forest Preserve a wonderful place to spend time in. And I also want to thank the volunteers. So a couple weeks ago, I went over to Riverview Farmstead to volunteer for the habitat restoration on a balmy 85-degree day. And it was a killer, but we had about a half a dozen volunteers and we got out there. We lasted we started at 8 o'clock and called it quits around 11:15. But we stuck it out and the results were incredible. We were pulling yellow and white clover. And I was really excited because it was the first time I could do it since I had my hip replacement. So it was a big deal for me. And I want to just give a shout out because those are the things that are going on every day in our forest preserves, the things behind the scenes that we don't necessarily see. And we have a pretty incredible organization that I'm very proud of. So I wanted to just thank you all. Keeps me young.
Thank you.
Hip replacement helps too. You didn't hear that.
Thank you for that comment. Commissioner Brooks.
Madam President, I know public comment, commission comment sometimes goes in record, but I'm not so sure they go in effect. So to follow up what Mr. Revis said, and Brian, I might be looking to you for our chairman, president, finance president, Newquist. How can we get that discussion on the finance committee?
Oh, it's gonna go on. I already wrote it down. I sent Tracy this morning, another item that's gonna go on to the finance committee that me and Commissioner Revis had talked about last month. So this will just be another item added for next month.
And to follow up with that, we can find out what Joliet's expense is based on, and we can run our own numbers and present an amount to you.
Okay, thank you.
I don't want to cut off Mr. Brooks, but Lisa does have some sort of calculation. We didn't quite get to that in the meeting, but there is some sort of calculation. But regardless of what that calculation is, I just think showing the support. And I know I was talking to a lot of the law enforcement there, and the Forest Preserve seems to be a magnet for, I think the term they used was like depraved behavior sometimes. You know, I know there's a lot of good things that happen in our forest preserve, but just the nature of it, it's a secluded area. People think they can go there and get away with stuff. So I think for that reason alone, we should consider it. So thank you.
And I really do appreciate you bringing that to our attention. Commissioner Richmond.
Thank you. Just wanted to give a quick update. Been working with Tracy and her team, and I know, Tracy, you had a meeting with Camber, and you've had some very good discussions, and things are moving along, because I know it's a very hot topic in my district, as well as probably other folks that come and frequent the Hickory Creek Forest Preserve. So I just want to let people know that that is moving forward. And obviously, there's paperwork that has to be done and consultation and all that kind of stuff, but it is moving forward. So that's all I had. Thanks.
Thank you so much for bringing that up and giving us that update. Amazing. Is there anybody else that has their light on that I probably cannot see? Doesn't seem so. Moving on then to appointments and comments by the president. I have 2 items here, so I'm going to need a motion to accept the permission to hire a facility office manager at Hidden Oaks Nature Center. Do I have to say their name? Motion by Van Dyne, second by Ogalla. Any discussion?
Discussion, Revis. I'm sorry, we got to discuss it, guys. So.
All right, Mr. Revis, go ahead.
So, do we have any documentation or numbers that speak to the quantity of daily visitors? What is our daily visitor count at this specific center?
So Hidden Oaks just reopened, so it's hard to get that data, because the last time we've been open was in 2022. So I don't have those numbers present right now. This is a replacement hire. One of the individuals that was working at Hidden Oaks is now working at Sugar Creek, so this is just a replacement position. It is not a new position. And when we opened Hidden Oaks, we did not create new positions. We filtered people from other facilities to Hidden Oaks to cover the new building.
And do we feel that there's some way that there could be like a stopgap to test whether, we need a full-time position or a part-time position, to fill this role based on our visitor counts and the amount of use at this specific preserve while it gets up off the ground?
I don't have it, like I said, I don't have the numbers, but the office person that moved from Hidden Oaks to Sugar Creek has not been able to work at Sugar Creek because they have to work at Hidden Oaks so much. So we've been using part-time and volunteers to work Sugar Creek in the meantime. But the Hidden Oaks staff are overworked and are working overtime at this time until we fill this position.
Okay. So they're working overtime, but we don't know what the daily visitor count is at the facility?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure we do. I just don't have that number in front of me.
Okay. I think when we bring these things up, that's very important information for us to digest, whether, this is something we can, reasonably grant permission for you to hire. I think it should be something like, all the board members can have access to like daily visitor counts and things like that, so we could weigh it. But I appreciate the discussion here. I guess we'll see how the vote goes.
I would say that Hidden Oaks is our most popular preserve, even though it just reopened, because it's in the most populated area of the county. So we do have the highest visitor count per day. I just don't have the exact number.
If I may.
Yes, Commissioner Butler.
So I guess would we be correct to understand that regardless of people coming in and out, there is a workload that is involved with the nature center being there, like tasks that are completed?
Correct, because just besides the people, the daily visitors that are coming in, we're running programming, we're running events, we're running field trips during the school year, those kind of events.
Okay.
Treasurer Berkowitz.
Thank you, President Ortiz. So again, this is in my township and Kelly's Township. And I want to make sure. I'm just waiting for the conversation to end because I want everyone to hear what I'm sharing. So this is in my township, Wheatland Township. And this preserve really, it's not getting off the ground. It never really shut down. The woods and these trails from Hidden Oaks go all the way to Wayland Lake. And we have hundreds of people that bike, rollerblade, walk from Wayland Lake south to Hidden Oaks, plus there's fishing there. So there's the activity there all day, every day. Since we did the renovation, we've had 2 events at Hidden Oaks at least, and there were hundreds of people there. And the first event, we had snow, rain, wind, and it was nonstop for 4 or 5 hours. The place was packed. We have youth groups that go to Hidden Oaks. It's an incredible facility, and they are really overworked. They do programming. There's an absolute need to fill this because there is a demand. And again, the population surrounding Hidden Oaks is huge. Come on out and I'll be glad to show you around. Come on out to this part of the county. Thank you.
Commissioner Logan, did you? Okay. All right. Seeing no other discussion, did we have a first and a second? Yes, we did. Can I get a previous roll? Previous roll Winfrey, second by Logan. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, we have, I'm going to need a motion for permission to hire a restoration ecologist. Motion by Newquist, second by Winfrey. Any discussion? Commissioner Revis?
We just get some more information on the background of this. Thank you.
Yes, so this is a new position, and it is partially funded by Wetland Mitigation Banking. So in fall of 2024, the Forest Preserve was approved to do 59 acres of wetland mitigation at Fort Creek Preserve. And in March of 25, we had an additional 321 acres of wetland mitigation banking at Thorn Creek. To develop and maintain these banks, the Forest Preserve will collect mitigation fees in exchange for the created wetland offset. This position will oversee and develop the maintenance of the new wetland banks and other related restoration projects. So even though this is a new position, it will be funded, 90% of it will be funded by wetland mitigation banking funds. And they will also do a little bit of extra work besides the wetland mitigation.
Our wetland mitigation banking funds, did I get that correct? So is that from the state, or where is that from exactly? I'm sorry.
It comes from projects that have to do wetland mitigation. So in regards to like our Prairie Bluff, how they're donating or they're transferring 118 acres and then they're paying for the wetland mitigation in connection with their construction. It's those kind of projects, excuse me.
Okay, and so we estimate that there will be enough of those mitigation funds to keep this person healthily employed here without additional burden on property taxes or our tax levy?
Correct. And if the funds run out, then the position doesn't exist.
Oh, okay. I'm happy to support this. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. We have a first and a second. Can I please get a previous roll? Previous by Berkowitz, second by Brooks. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, I just have one small comment to make. I want to thank the staff at our Forest Preserve. They are absolutely incredible. Their dedication shines through in the amazing diverse programs that they offer, which we heard a lot about tonight. I'll be joining the volunteer effort for Fish for Trash at the Hidden Oaks Nature Center, and I encourage all commissioners to get involved and volunteer as Treasurer Berkowitz suggested. Let's keep our preserves beautiful together. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved by Oxley, second by Brooks. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you.